welcome all my friends, Jesse's friends, and Chuck's friends to the halftime edition of the NFL Predictive Playbook show. And I'm not going to do any introduction here. I'm just going to get right to the nuts and bolts. On the show that I did earlier this week, and it happened to be with Kelly Stewart and Ralph Michaels, I detailed this game and said that in an in-game live betting strategy, I was going to get the Raiders pre-flop at 5.5. I got them actually at 5. Then in-game, 8.5 for 25% more, 10.5 points, 25% more. I have all three of them in my hand right now. Jesse has informed me, looking at the wagertalk.com odds page, that we are looking at plus 7.5 for the Raiders with a 20-13 halftime lead.
Looks like that line's moved, John. I can see a 9.5 now.
What's the money line? Right, I will do it right now.
Plus 450.
Okay, I've had enough. I will violate my 100% 4% bet that I
don't do it.
I'm going to do it. What was the money line again?
Oh, don't do it.
I mean, I'm looking at
450.
I'm seeing plus 450 on the money line, plus 9.5,
wow,
plus 100 for the spread.
Oh.
All right, so pizza money bet, $20 in my case, because my pizza money is the pizza around here where I live is expensive. I mean, just the dough alone costs $10. You just want a pizza with just dough, it's $10. So I'm going to put $20 at plus, let's call it 400. The highest you see, Jesse, is 450, right?
That's what I'm seeing right now. It seems a little out of whack to me. I mean, I don't know what game they're watching, but I didn't think the Raiders looked that bad at all.
I think they come back and win. I'll go on the line here in a live show. I think they come back and win. I know my dear beloved friend, Dr. Chuck, just about threw up because he is living in the area in Cincinnati. And I can respect that. You know, the Eagles might get killed tomorrow too, and I'm outside of Philadelphia and Princeton. I'm telling you.
I'm a fan first and a better second. But so for John Ryan, for you throwing your money into the toilet, you could also light it on fire. What's the Cincinnati Bengals punter's name?
Hector Gonzalez.
His name?
I don't know who the punter is for Cincinnati.
And why don't you know?
Punting metrics aren't that important to me.
Because they didn't punt, and they're not going to punt.
He hasn't punted.
Whoa. Oh, my goodness. I mean, Jesse, did he just, trash me?
No, I thought he was actually being a jerk at first, but actually it was more of
I'm saying
good-natured joke. They don't punt. You don't know the punter's name. So he wasn't trying to call you out.
I'm on record here right now, pizza money, which is $20 for me. I'm adding it to my 4% bet that is already established with what I outlined on the Bet On It show at plus 5.5, 50%, 8.5, 10.5 for the other two 25%ers. And I will do the plus 400. We'll be fair. Jesse's saying plus 450. I want to be fair. Plus 400. Even that seems rather generous. So I will do that for $20. That'll pay off 80 when the Raiders win this game in overtime.
So, okay. And that's awesome. That's awesome. So here's my question. Why?
I'll answer that.
They scored that touchdown.
I'll handle that. Why?
Great call.
Okay.
The touchdown at the end of the second quarter.
Great call.
I was going to say that, but I got something else for you, Chuck. Let me ask you.
Are you kidding me? That's why?
Momentum,
that's
baby.
Scary money management.
That is momentum. You don't think Cincinnati's going right now? They had 20-3 lead, and now it's all of a sudden. No, not 20-3. It was 20-6. Now it's 20-13.
That's one touchdown. Who gets the kickoff?
There was less than 2 minutes to go when the Raiders had the ball. The Raiders scored in the last 2 minutes on a drive that should have never happened. That's why I'm so bullish on this.
If you're going to make that bet, then wait until we get the kickoff, John.
Well, I can do it now. I already did.
Get the ball. No, it's too late now.
What does Jesse have to say about this idea?
Why would you ever do that at halftime of a game where the team?
I just want to ask Chuck, did you see that play where the Raiders got really lucky in the first half? No, because the Raiders didn't get really lucky, right? Because they had the fumble, the turnover, they had the missed offensive pass interference call, they had the inadvertent whistle, and you think that's going to continue? And they're still only down by a touchdown, and is that going to continue? Eventually,
yep.
Those
Sorry, Jess, keep going.
Start to come back, and like I said on the morning show, 30 game-winning drives, 24 fourth-quarter comebacks, more than run in his career. That last drive says it all. I mean, you watch him march down the field, they score that last-minute touchdown. If Chuck, everything that you expect to happens, and then in garbage time they give him the ball with 2 minutes left, and he does what he just did, there goes your cover.
And I don't care about cover, and John doesn't care about a cover either. And I think
I do because I have three pieces. I have three different ATS bets.
And it doesn't matter if anyone listens to a word I say because no one is. But I guess here's the point. But here's the point. So you guys are both telling me you're happy taking the Raiders now when the Bengals get the kickoff. They haven't punted yet, and you guys are both happy with the fact that you have no idea if the Raiders are going to stop the Bengals even once, and you're just hoping that it's 3 versus 7, 3 versus 7, 3 versus 7, which the Bengals could lose.
Technically, they did stop them, and the Bengals were aided by an inadvertent whistle, which should have, by the NFL, the play should have been dead. And
how many times did you watch the play? The whistle happened as Boyd's hands were touching the ball.
Well, I heard it before that, to be fair.
Well, not if you rewind it.
Well, the recordings can be different in Cincinnati area. They really can. They can be way different than, say, the recordings that people listen to in Las Vegas.
Okay, and what about?
I do think Chuck makes a valid point, though.
What about in Browns?
If they get a stop, but you're not going to get a great price if they get if you wait for that first drive and then Vegas gets a stop. That's going to go from 9.5 to 6.5, just like that. And I want that 9.5. I think that's a bargain.
But it's not once we receive the ball. If we don't fumble the kickoff, we get a better price.
But if you guys are driving, that line will go up. You're right. If you guys get on the other side of the 50 against the Raiders in this opening drive in the second half, there's no question I might be able to get plus 500 on the money line, but I am perfectly content.
Line goes up if we don't fumble.
Well, you know what happens?
I'll take the 450.
You buy the dip.
Right.
That's what I'm doing.
So you buy it. So you lock in the 9.5, and if, as you say, Chuck, you do get that better price, then you buy the dip.
And I already have 10.5. I have 25% 10.5, 25% 8.5, 50% 5.5.
And
so if the Bengals win by 7, I lose only the big on the 50% bet.
And I didn't get to mention this on the show earlier, but it's funny that we are coming back for halftime because the only reason to back the Raiders is the same reason that you would back LSU today. And what happened?
Well,
the only reason to bet the Raiders right now is because the Bengals are the farthest away from a playoff win. That's the only reason. The only reason.
Well,
Derek Carr plays football is a good reason.
I don't have the game on, but did they? I assume they already kicked.
Not yet.
Okay.
But I guess and not to pick on Jesse's thing, but do you know who has twice as many of those little fourth quarter comeback things as Derek Carr?
A guy that's played twice as long.
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton's pretty old. I heard he's delivering mail somewhere in Ohio.
And he did 70 of those things. You don't mean a damn thing. If on October 4th of every year you come back and you beat the Lions on a fourth quarter comeback, you do that 10 years in a row. There you go. There's 10. That's 1/3 of Derek Carr's. Like I don't understand that stat. Like
Well, I mean, if he actually engineers a fourth quarter comeback here, that stat's gonna look pretty damn good though.
Well,
credit for number 30 on Sunday.
look at the NFL, Chuck. I'll disagree with you a little bit because parity is the definition of the NFL. They wanted parity in the late 90s. They got it. So now you do have some outliers that are horribly bad, Jets, Giants, etc. But then all of a sudden you have a team like Jacksonville who all of a sudden, out of nowhere beats the Colts. And there is a really small margin between being, say, a 10-7 team and a 7-10 team.
Yeah.
So if a quarterback beats the Detroit Lions 10 times in his career in the fourth quarter, I think that's still an accomplishment, even though it's against a team that is a franchise, not like the Jets, but.
Okay, right, and so, but will you not respect me if I don't think it is?
Oh, absolutely. I always respect the opinions of others.
That is. I also spent a dozen years with Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton always won 11 games. Like 11-5. And 7 of those 11, he had to do something in the fourth quarter to get us a win. And that's what I'm saying is, like, I guess as the person that is most invested in this game, that is most obsessed with this game, I thought we would have a hard time in the first quarter. I thought that the Raiders would stop us a few times, and I thought we'd go into the halftime down a little bit or tied. The fact that we put up 20 points only emboldens me to the fact, and deferred only personally emboldens me to everything I was worried about gone.
But would you make the second half bet -9.5 right now?
Why would I ever do that when I have -4.5?
Well, yeah. Well, that's
right.
I'm just saying that if you're looking to make a bet right now at halftime, I think the +9.5.
If you want to, absolutely yes. I think it's a 17-point game.
You know what's interesting too, guys, is the second half line.
Money line.
Like if the game was 0-0 right now, the second half line is Cincinnati -1 at Circa, Westgate,
right.
Heritage. Pinnacle's only a half.
And that's
actually Pinnacle has Cincinnati plus a half at -108.
Okay.
So which is the better bet? That plus the 9.5 full game? I think the plus 9.5 is much better.
Objectively.
Because you're only down 7. That's essentially getting 2.5, right?
Do you guys believe in makeup calls?
Do you know that Jerome Boger?
Tony Finn would call me a liar if I didn't say yes.
Did you know that Jerome Boger, nobody more than Jerome Boger favors away teams in the entire referee establishment? So,
that's good for me then.
Calls, what do you feel about that phantom no call on the offensive pass interference? Did you guys like that as offensive pass interference?
On Chase?
Yeah. I mean, didn't look like the guy went to the ground, and it didn't look like a dive. It looked like there was contact made, and the defender went to the ground.
But I'll tell you what I don't like is that
the only reason that I actually agree, and I thought we were pretty lucky there. I think that's in the wind, though. I think the whistle thing might come back to haunt us a little bit because I think Trufant going down. I don't think anybody. Tirico didn't bring it up. Breeze didn't bring it up. Nobody brought it up. I think it's gone. I think the whistle thing, which even Tirico brought it up, and they showed the replay, and the whistle happens as Boyd's catching it. I don't quite understand the idea.
I heard the whistle live. I was jumping up and down in my living room, and way before the announcers said anything about it, I heard a whistle, and then all of a sudden they're catching a touchdown. I wasn't sure what was going on there.
Well, we got a few shout-outs to the chat room here. Thanks for watching. And Hector says, yeah, the rest will feel bad for bad calls and maybe give 1 or 2 to the Raiders. Ha. That's what he said, Dr. Chuck.
Okay. And I guess my point remains. If John, okay, how are you going to feel about your bet if we don't punt?
We should look at the odds on that.
Okay, so right. I don't mean to act like Tony Finn right now, but clearly, what odds would you give me right now for a significant bet that I will say that there will be a situation where the Bengals will punt at least once?
I don't care. I don't care if we punt. What I'm saying is, do you understand that last week they barely had the Chargers? The Chargers had already punted 4 times at this point. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is, like, the Raiders' defense is not good. And how are they going to get better? And the number of times that NBC shows Gus Bradley doesn't make the Raiders' defense better.
Okay, so what odds do you give me that the Raiders force a punt on this first possession by Cincinnati?
Oh, on the first possession?
Yeah. I might be interested if the price is right.
No, even.
I think I'm baiting them, Jesse.
Yeah, even. I'm not giving
this
you
is out of character. This is out of character for me.
It's a tough one to answer because here he is on one side saying, there's no way. They cannot stop them. And then when faced with the dilemma of would you bet on that? No.
Absolutely. You got it. I'm only trying to figure out as a website that like deals in value. Just tell me why you're betting the money line.
Because that's where I see the value. Because the plus 9.5 I think is way too much. Historically, teams that score a touchdown in the fashion that the Raiders did in the last 2 minutes is, if I'm a Cincinnati fan at that game, I'm going to go get my beer at halftime or like 6 of them. And I'm saying, how could they do that? We had this game won. Now we're going to have to go through the whole second half and be stressed out of our gourd every time Derek Carr has the ball. Based on what Jesse says with these comebacks.
And guess what? I would be 120% with you if the kickoff was going to the Raiders right now.
But what if it's a 3-and-out?
That's just 1 3-and-out away from being
right. And field possession.
Field position. A holding penalty, a turnover. There's so many things that can go wrong. And in the many years that I've been on this planet, way too many to even speak of, what can go wrong does go wrong in the second half of NFL games. The team is the better team in the first half. How often is that team the better team in the second half? I mean, it's really not something to hold your hat on that, we were better in the first half. All that momentum is going to continue to the second half. It rarely does.
Do you want actual? You wanted an answer to that?
Yeah.
Because the Bengals are the team.
The team that is just as good in the first half as they are in the second half?
No, way better in the second half than the first half. That's what I was worried about. I was worried about.
Okay. But if they're way better in one half as opposed to the other half, and they've already blown their load in the first half, that kind of works to my point.
But that hasn't happened. I don't know what you guys want. Do you want historic objective evidence like John does, or do you want me to make like unicorns and rainbows up? I don't understand. I don't know what you want me to do.
I mean, you got 25-year-old quarterback.
They let the Chiefs score. They let the Chiefs score every time. They came out after the half and beat them 21-3. Like, I don't know what you want me to do.
Well, what do you think of this? The over in the second half is 24. I'm seeing 23.5 right now at Heritage, 24 at Penny. Circus 23.5, but you have to lay minus 120. But the best line is definitely Pinnacle. Heritage. So I put it through the database here in the playoffs. Away teams that are trailing by 7 or more points are 46-24 in the second half over. You like that idea? That's 65.7%.
Well, if Cincinnati's never going to punt again, it's going to go over.
Chuck, I swear I did not say that to set up Jesse with that comment. I swear to you.
I'm just telling you. We watched, the three of us watched a different game, and I love that about sports.
That's what makes it fun. Clearly. I could be dead wrong.
like we're all smart people, and I can't fathom what game you were watching, and you can't fathom what game I was watching, and that's
I can fathom, but I mean, you're motivated to believe that the Bengals are going to dominate the second half, and I'm motivated because I want to see the comeback. I want to see the entertaining game, and the NFL, the broadcasters, the television networks, everybody else wants to see the Raiders come back and make this interesting, right? It's just Bengals fans that want to see the Bengals win by 20.
okay. So, can I call bullshit on that?
Sure.
Since I've been doing this life, we've played the 4:30 spot on Saturday. This is our 5th time. We've never been in the game. Never been close. Never been within 17 points. Sometimes we lost by 30. It's not – nobody at the 4:30 game wants anything to do with anything. That's why Tirico got it. No offense to Tirico. But that this game – no one's watching this game.
What were the ratings for the Raiders and the Chargers? Because I thought that was exciting as hell.
Yeah, that was incredible.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody wants to see that again.
They do. And nobody – and it's weird because the Bengals were the only sold-out game. Going into this morning, the Bengals were the only sold-out game, and I'm worried it was more Raiders fans. But at the same time, like this game, they hide this game. This is the game that's hidden. You know, they go and they hide this game, and that's the point of it. And that's why J.J. Watt and the Texans took Andy Dalton out, like 31-6 every year, and it just happens. But I don't buy that the drama that's needed in the second half of this game is the drama that's needed in the second half of tonight's game. If that's a motivation.
The beauty is that one of us is going to be right. Maybe two of us will be right. But all three of us aren't going to be wrong.
Yes.
That's a universal fact. I do humbly say that I like how my live in-game worked. Like the 50% pre-flop plus 5.5. Raiders score first. I kind of feel like I'm not going to get the other pieces I want. Then all of a sudden, Cincinnati does score and scores a lot. I get the 8.5 and the 10.5 now. So as long as the Raiders lose by 7 or less, I only pay the vig on the 50%. So I feel like I'm in a good spot right here. And to add pizza money at plus 400. Jesse said it was 450, but that sounds that almost sounds like insane to me. Like getting the 49ers last week, they were losing 17-0 at 950.
But John, you watched that game, right?
I did.
And you watched this game, and that's what confuses me so much.
I'll tell you two universal truths. The team that scores in the last 2 minutes of a drive that started within the last 2 minutes and scores a touchdown on the road, that changes the character of the game immediately. And then another thing that happens, especially in the playoffs, if a team misses a field goal, there's a greater probability than normal that the opposing team goes down and scores. It's crazy how that happens. And obviously it doesn't happen every single time, but there's a greater propensity, greater probability after a missed field goal, especially if it's a 35-yarder, or in this day and age, 45-yarders are considered short. The other team goes down and scores. I mean, it's crazy.
The Bengals are going to punt. The Bengals are going to punt 5 times this half. So let's go. Let's get ready to watch.
Jesse, did he just change his mind?
No, he's being sarcastic.
Oh.
But it looks like they did settle for a field goal on that one drive. So, we're off to a flying start.
It's
23-13.
All right, 23. Then this is a big drive right here. This is a big one.
Why would it be big? You got money line, John. Why would it be big?
Because if the Raiders score, you're gonna.
You have the winner of the game, John.
Well, I think I do. Humbly said, I could be dead wrong, and the Bengals could score 50, and it could be 50-13. But I think if the momentum's going to stay in the Raiders, they got to go down the field here with a drive. And if they score a touchdown, I feel even better about the chances of the Raiders coming from behind to win.
Yeah.
If they even match a field goal.
And like I said, to each his own. Like pre-flop, I was on Santa Clara. I love Santa Clara plus 16.5. Gonzaga put up 50. And now you're telling me that I should get back in on Santa Clara at halftime? No, guess what? I lost by 30. Like, I just don't – I don't get it.
Yeah, but it's totally different. You're comparing apples with oranges there. I mean –
Not at all.
Santa Clara's not even a tournament team.
When's the last time you've seen Gonzaga run the ball to kill the clock?
Fair.
I mean, Gonzaga is a team that it just loves blowing people out, so completely different story. I think the Bengals, if the Bengals are up by 10 here in the fourth quarter, they're going to be fully content to run the clock, kill as much time as they can. They don't give a shit about winning by 10.
Okay, so we're changing. I feel like we're flip-flopping subjects. I told you this morning, if it was Raiders plus 6, I wouldn't have been on the Bengals. John's opening this show with Raiders are winning this game, Raiders are winning this game, Raiders are winning this game. Now talk.
Oh, you're allowed to disagree.
That's what you said.
No, it's kind of a no-lose. I mean, you're taking the team.
Talking about plus 6.
If they don't win, oh no, I gave it my best, you know.
Right. No, and Jesse's talking about plus 6, which, to be honest, like, sorry, Bengal Nation, I wasn't laying 6. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can talk about this when we get to the halftime show of the New England Patriots and Buffalo Bills.
Can we do it again?
Yeah. And if I lose, you can make fun of me, and if I win, I'll probably be eating a slice of pizza.
If we're celebrating something that hasn't happened since I was 10, I won't be making fun of anybody.
So what? In summary, we know what I'm doing with the money line. We already did it. Pizza money bet plus 400. Raiders to win. Do you guys have any bets that you're going to look to do in the second half here?
Jesse didn't bring this up, but both of our bets are wide open.
The what?
Mixon and Chase haven't scored.
Yeah, no, we both have a stake in that game with anytime touchdown scores. I got Mixon, he's got Chase. I like Mixon because, like I say, at the end of the game, they're going to be running. Now that we're into the second half, the later it goes, the more likely it is to be the running back rather than the receiver.
Yeah, and I think, I don't want, because I put this out as an actual play. I don't want Chase to be dead, but I think a couple of those plays that happened in the first half were his chances, and I think that he underthrew that ball that Hayward knocked away by a lot, and Chase had that, and those are the kind of plays that I was hoping for an anytime touchdown. But yeah, I think Mixon. I bet the odds went to Jamar Chase plus 180, Joe Mixon minus 250 at the half.
Yeah. Well, not quite, because he's still, they.
If you were starting over, right?
If you were starting over, yeah. If you were starting over. But me personally, I like the in-game. It's currently 10.5. I still like that. That's my best bet for the show.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, I hate to say this.
I think that's telling us, too, that there's a lot of money coming in on the Bengals here in-game. Not that's a huge sum of money, but it's like a significant amount more percentage-wise than what is going to get on the Raiders. And that alone doesn't get you a winning ticket doing the Raiders. But, double digits and we have to see what Carr does here. He just completed a pass for 12 yards to that tight end Waller. Looks like there was an injury on Cincinnati too, but hopefully not severe.
I know it was Ogunjobi, and he's the guy that almost got us that defensive touchdown. So
yeah, you never like to see anybody get hurt. in these playoff games. I mean, it's just that this stinks. Period. But I guess we'll resort to Twitter here, and we'll just continue to abuse each other on Twitter.
Well, no, and there's no sense. I mean, like I told you guys this on there. I'm not hiding the fact that I'm a Derek Carr hater. I don't.
How many margaritas have you had today, Chuck? Or those martinis?
This is so I'm going up. So for Bengals games, I go full James Bond, and this is here we go, martini.
I'm impressed.
John, just think about how many martinis he'll have had by halftime in the New England Buffalo game.
Well,
I can't wait for halftime.
We'd have to get Tony Finn on there.
This will depend greatly. You guys,
I have all his cell phone numbers, so I'm sure one will connect.
Let's be fair here, and I'll be fair with myself. If this goes down and the Bengals lose 37-23, well, are you going to see me again?
No, probably not.
I would hope you would,
but at the same time,
honor up and make an appearance. I mean, if the Raiders win by 20, I mean, it's only one game, Chuck.
Oh no, I don't mean that. I meant, how many martinis will I have after we flub this away for Derek Carr's 31st?
Doesn't that go for celebrating too, though? I kind of think you're doomed to be, eyeballs deep in martinis by 7:30, 8 o'clock.
I hope someday to try to have a martini. I don't think I've ever had one.
Really?
I don't think so. I've had Manhattans because I lived in Manhattan. And not Manhattan, Kansas. It was that, island thing of New York.
That's a good place today, though. We didn't get to talk about the Kansas State-Texas Tech game. But I bet Jesse was on Kansas State hardcore.
Unfortunately, I only had one play today, but fortunately it was a winner. I had the under in that Virginia Wake game, and I was
good for you. That's 11-0.
Yes.
Well, no, it's not
11-0 run.
No, I lost a soccer game before any of the basketball started.
Oh.
So it's
all right. So you're 11-1.
That's terrible.
We all
awful.
need the Trojans. We all need the Trojans later, right? I mean, no matter what happens in Buffalo. Yeah.
Well, I think you should get back to martinis, and I should get back to my hot coffee and watching the game in the afternoon over here on the West Coast.
Let's see what happens, and I'm going to Google the recipe for a martini and see what's in it.
Like 3:30 for Jesse, so this is money. Yeah. Dark here for me and John.
All right, we'll see if we can get back here for the halftime of the Patriots and Bills.
Yep.
And that's going to be about 6 degrees at game time. So, that's playoff football. What could be better? We're not there. We're warm.
Yeah,
we'll
right.
be watching in front of the fireplace. So that's great.
The wind chill, I mean, not to belabor this too much, but the wind chill in Buffalo is supposed to be like -10, -15 by mid-game. So
Marco was saying coldest game in NFL history, perhaps.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but that's what he said.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's why I have some friends that are Bills fans. They're like, man, if we could have got anybody but the Patriots, this would suck for them. But
I was at the coldest game in Penn State history. It was against Notre Dame. The year escapes me, but I think it was like 91. It took Penn State won. It took Notre Dame out of the national championship race, which pleased me even back then, guys. It pleases me every year. However, it was the only time I've ever been in a vehicle driving, and you go up these big, mountains in the Appalachians to get to Penn State. Seven Mountain Ridge, it's called, and the temperature in the car went to -2. The only time I've ever seen -2. The wind chill was -25 to -30. And the wind was blowing on the student body. And the student body at Penn State doesn't leave games. This case, they did. Half of them were gone at halftime, and for probably good, healthy reasons. But I always remember that game because the offensive linemen were out there in short sleeves. Yeah. They'd be during the timeouts and everything, they'd be standing out there in short sleeves. It was crazy. But Blair Thomas was the running back for Penn State and had like 226 yards, if I remember correctly, which was a school record at the time, and they knocked off Notre Dame. And I truly don't remember it being cold. They said it was cold. No, it was cold.
It's funny how that works. It's funny how that works out when you end up winning. I know it's not.
Yeah, well, that and proper tailgating.
You're right.
Pre-game meals, lots of fluids, hydration. It's all very important. Anyway, I'll see you guys at halftime.
Enjoy the rest of the game, gentlemen.
You got it, man. Thanks for being a part of this. Until then, remember, guys, bet with your head, not over it, and may all the wins be yours.
Go USC.